What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. You know what time it is, baby. It's time for that, because that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. You know, guys, we have a really nice, big, in-depth show. We're going to talk more about that spring football game Friday night. I mean, how about them Rebels? How about them Rebels? I'm going to share my thoughts when we actually get the show started, get my co-hosts on here. Chat box, I want to talk about it if you were there at that spring game. I mean, the work that these young men have put in, I can't say enough. Coaches have done a great job. The workouts in the off season have done a great job. I mean, these guys were fully engaged, prepared, and I just can't say enough about it, and it's a great start to the infamous first quarter, as our guy, Mr. Shane O'Mac says, and a lot of momentum going into the second quarter now of the season. I get chills talking about it. I get chills. I'm excited about it. I mean, we got these long dog days of summer, but before you know it, we'll be, camp, all that good stuff. More workouts over the summer, getting better, getting stronger, learning that playbook, and finalizing the roster. And then you're going to have your scrimmages. Before you know it, it's going to be Saturday night under the lights at Bill Wilson Field in Marble City against Bearden, and always going to be a fun atmosphere. But lots to talk about. I mean, we're going to talk some NBA playoffs tonight. It's looking like there's a new champion. Jason Tatum having that really nasty injury, rupturing that Achilles, and the Celtics are down 3-1 to the Knicks. It looks like they're about to have the door closed on them, which means there will be a new NBA champion. As for hockey, Panthers are still hanging around there with Toronto. So see what happens there on the NHL side of things. College baseball, the Vols had a tough one this past weekend against Vandy, but they could get hot when it starts and so forth. It's anybody's ball game with those major sports that are going on. Lady Vols in softball getting that 5th seed. Can't discredit them. Maybe they bring it in, for their first ever College World Series. That would be really huge for Karen Weekly and that program. Also got some wrestling to talk about. Did anybody catch Backlash Saturday? I have never laughed so hard at a main event and press conference. I mean, so if you're going to be on the show, hit that chat box, hit that like and subscribe button. More than anything, just remember the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. These are solely the RWAC Crew's views. That's myself, the Italian Stallion, two-pair Tate, Brian Tate, and our stats guy coach himself, Mr. Shane O'Mac. Also, remember, in that chat box, if we've inaccurately said something in error, please voice your opinions. And as I mentioned, what do you all want to talk about? This is much your show as it is much as ours, because we are all rebels with our cause. Also got to give some love out. King's Chamber, Miss Kim Castle over there on Washington Pike. Definitely go pay her a visit. You got the haircuts, the beard trims, the waxes, the pedicures and manicures, get you a nice tasty beverage while you're either waiting or getting the services done. You will get the royal there and feel like the true king you are over at her chamber. Also, the Knoxville Coffee Company, owned by our very own class of 2003 grad, Mr. Alex Thatcher. They're off of Sutherland Avenue in the heart of Marble City. Go pay him a visit. That brew is good any time of the day. Even hot out there, I know a lot of us need a good cup of brew to get no matter what shift you're working. Also got to give some love over to Razor Shop Barbershop of Knoxville. Go see Josh Fink or Corey. They will get you taken care of as well. Also follow Big Fact Sports Network, 332 Studios on YouTube. If you haven't seen it already, me and Two Pair give some commentary for the first 72 minutes of the game. Realistically, we want to apologize for any numbers or names we got mixed up. We did not have an official roster, but hopefully more of that good stuff will be coming. And involved. He had a commitment Friday night, but hopefully that will be more and more good stuff coming if you follow them. And also, speaking of Shane, I know he can always use some extra money on the side. If you need any help with any of your electrical needs, hit him up, 865 299-3206. Got to give some shout outs real quick. First and foremost, this Saturday, congratulations to the class of 2025. Welcome to the alumni family, each and every one of you, whether you were an athlete in academia, anybody that is walking across that stage with your robes, represent them. I hope the weather is good for you guys, as are the schools in the area and so forth. We wish you the absolute best in the future endeavors and the causes that you pursue here in the future. Got to give some love to some football guys. Congrats to Wyatt signing with Maryville College. It's been a watch you, young man, in that Rebel uniform, and I know that you're going to represent West in the most upstanding way and continue being the beast you are, wreaking havoc on quarterbacks and running backs in that backfield against the competition there at Maryville. So congratulations. Also got to give some love to the Thunder himself, Mr. Tavion Ray, signing with the University of Virginia at Lynchburg. Brother, low, run hard, run straight, and show them what you're all about, Thunder, honestly. And it was a pleasure watching you be a part of this team, and just keep doing your thing, brother. As for the basketball side, got to give some love to Devin Martin for signing with Lipscomb University. Keep doing your thing, sir. It was a pleasure to watch you, and you lead us to great victories and the district tournament, and just everything that you've done as a Rebel. I look forward to seeing you grow at the next level and just continue being the devastating one, as Two Pair likes to call you. So congratulations to you, and last but not least, congratulations Thrill Hill for signing with Tusculum College. Really proud of you, young man, and I hope that you do some great things for them, and just continue to pursue whatever your academic career you would like to do, and just keep doing your cause. It was a pleasure to watch you handle the ball and lead the attack for the Rebels basketball team these last couple of years. As far as all the other athletes that have signed in all the other sports, congratulations to all of you. May you continue your athletic journey as well as the academic journey for anything that you want to pursue, because remember, this is your cause, and that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. And just because it hit zero when you were in high school, you got more to do. And we believe in you here at Rebels with a Cause. And I just am proud of anything to cover you and see all of you in your respective sports as you represent this fine high school and be Rebels with a Cause. That being said, got a lot to discuss. My co-hosts obviously are going to be joining the show based on availability. I know that Shane is doing some double duty right now, working, and you can't follow him for that. Two Pair, I know is just running just a tad late, but he'll be joining the show as well. But more than anything, guys, I just cannot talk more about how excited I was about that spring game. And in fact, I think he's ready to go now to join me. He, of course, was not there for the spring game, but, we have filled him in. He's also caught a little bit of the broadcast that Two Pair and I did Friday night from the game. I also want to give a shout out to the best athletic director in the state of Tennessee, Mr. Paul Romero, for giving us the access to the press box and allowing us to do a live show afterwards from the press box. Shout out to James Mills and Pork Chop McAllister for coming on there and sharing their thoughts as well. That was really special for them to be a part of it, and we wish them the best. Wish James the best in his JUCO route, as well as Antirius Pork Chop McAllister joining DeRoche over at Maryville. So I'm really excited to see what those guys do there for Maryville. So great stuff, great stuff. But without further ado, let's bring him on. He has had a lot going on, busy with work, but still a Rebel cause. He knows what's going on. And more than anything, let's show him the love and appreciation. He's our stats guy. He's our coach that was named by Parker DeBon. Shout out to Parker, graduating on Saturday as well, young man. But let's bring him on, the one, the only, Mr. Shane O'Mac, Shane McGee. What is up, baby? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Busy weeks, a lot of work, a lot of baseball games because my son's playing right now.
Yep.
And throw football practice in there a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Stay busy.
Well, and speaking of these class of 2025, you have a daughter, and I know that you are a little emotional about it.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is life. It is life, but
yeah, yeah. My,
she's
my
done it.
my baby
She's
girl,
done it.
she's growing up. I
Yeah.
got emotional today when I saw the seating chart for Thursday night, and you see your kid's name there. It's like, yep, it's confirmed. That's it. This is it.
Yeah.
So
It's surreal. It's there. It's different from seeing it, and then when you experience it, and
yeah,
then it just goes like that. So it's just
yeah. Probably about
unbelievable.
48 hours from now, I'm gonna be a little emotional wreck. A
Oh,
few tears coming
absolutely.
down my eyes, but super proud because she's worked her butt off, going off to
Yeah.
college to major in marketing and our business and marketing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you know the sad thing is, I'm not even like a father or an uncle to any of the West High grads, but I feel this connection to them and just wish them nothing but the best. That they now
yep,
join our fraternity, sorority, whatever you want to call it, the brotherhood. That they're just going to be rebels with their cause, and it's going to be
yep,
so much hard work. Not just in high school, but what about what about the journey from K through 12, for God's sakes?
oh god,
I mean, people discredit that, and I just I just give it to them and so forth, especially in this day and age, and all the stuff that the school systems make them do. It's tough. It really is tough. So,
yeah,
but that being said, I'm really excited for them and for your daughter and all the class of 2025 grads locally, throughout the state, throughout the country. So
yeah,
make the world yours, honestly. So, um, that being said, let's jump right in it, Shane. Unfortunately, you couldn't be there Friday night live, but just to kind of give you a little bit of recap, West, of course, had a good mixture of practices the last couple of weeks. I know they had to navigate some bad weather, but it all culminated on a beautiful Friday night. Better weather football wise. It was a great crowd there at West. I mean, we were just as impressed with what showed up at Gibbs last year for that spring game.
yep,
We represented at home, and credit to a good 30 or 40 Science Hill fans that made the drive from Johnson City 2 hours down to get
yeah,
a taste of football. But realistically, from the start of the game, West was engaged. Shane, I mean, before Science Hill even scored. And at that point, they had really not rotated many players. And I was shocked because if you looked at the teams from afar, you would think we were the 6A school and they were the 5A school based on
yeah,
numbers and based who was on participating in that first part of the scrimmage, if that makes sense.
yeah,
The other thing that stood out to me was we were already rotating players fairly quickly. And as far as my eyes saw, and I'm knocking on wood right now, we escaped at least that game without any further major injuries or anything like that. Obviously, some guys got nicked up a little bit, but
yeah,
they were back in there a few plays later. But even without that going on, we were rotating guys to see who can contribute, who cannot. Everybody got a chance to play, but realistically, when it mattered, when it was mano a mano, first/1.5 versus one, West won that 42-7. I mean, it was 42-7. Now the score is 49-21. Science Hill left their starters in. At that point, we were really using a lot of the rising freshmen and rising sophomores that really had not gotten to play,
yep,
maybe even some rising juniors as well. But at the same time, they scored, but even we scored against their backups or what have you to make it the 49.
yeah,
But I say all that is that I just can't say enough about the things that I was hearing, because anybody can say we're motivated this year. We left one out there last year, and I'm going to tell you this: the gains I saw, speed wise, the way they look, they're bigger, they were engaged, they worked their butts off, Shane. And I think that I even told the coaches afterwards, and they said, it's not us. The kids wanted it. They've worked hard, and they're getting better and better. So I say all that just to get your thoughts. And I know it's a lot that I've thrown out there. I just would like your opinion of everything that I've presented to you, sir. You have the floor.
It feels like offensively, I think we've taken a step up, kind of back to where we were a couple years ago. Offensively, uh, obviously defensively, we were shutting them down if we only gave up 7 points in a half. Where we started throwing in, kids who didn't get much playing time over last season, which shows that we can hang. I mean, they gave it 14 points in the half total for kids who've barely seen the field. So that's always a positive when you're back up to the backup, to possibly even the backup.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting quality reps. Like I said last year, it's all about what you're seeing who can step in there and get quality reps and produce when they're out there. Honestly, you go up 42-7, doing pretty good. And I'm really excited to see what this team looks like. I think they've got a chip on their shoulder from last year because I was down there on that sideline. That was a catch in the end zone.
It was a catch.
Congrats to the other team. About 45 minutes away for winning. Congrats to them. They finished their little story.
And apparently we're in their documentary. I mean, they made a documentary about it. And I mean, listen, I'm not going to criticize. We had our documentary that was put together by Five Star Preps and Ryan Scott's dad, and they did a phenomenal. If you've not
Yeah.
seen it, it's on YouTube for any of the people that watch the show or anything like that. It's a phenomenal thing. I was slightly sad we didn't do one to talk about the back-to-back, because that was
Yeah.
a special team, and I wish that they would have just continued that. Maybe even followed last year's team if they were going to do the Triple Crown, the
Yeah.
three-peat. And like I said, it was one bad call away from even happening, because there's not a doubt in my mind we don't take Oak Ridge or Page for the third straight year. I
Yeah.
believe that in
But
all my heart.
when you come out and play like you did in a spring game like this, it shows that last year hurt,
Mhm.
and you're out to prove that we didn't fall off. It was just one game. We're back to do this again.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So
And yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is just a hunt for number 4 for our beloved school.
Absolutely. And I've been preaching, and I even said it on the show. I've been saying 3 out of 4 since December. I have really
Yep.
been living by that, and that's going to be my slogan for this year. That it's 3 out of 4, and it's like that Nebraska teams from the mid '90s that just won 3 out of 4. Unfortunately, the Vols were on the end of the last one or what have you, but
Yeah.
realistically, they just had one down year in '96, and even then, if they don't lose to Texas in the championship, they're probably in that conversation,
Yep.
in the '96 or what have you. But that being said, it happens. But I think that this off season has shown just the character of these kids. We've said that all along, that we've got great kids, and the work that they've put in, getting that eye of the tiger back. And obviously, this is a lot of momentum to go into the second quarter, that you're going to
Yep.
get back in that weight room. You're going to, that the dog days of summer, that heat, the running,
Yep.
just getting all that done, taking care of your body and kind of getting together with your teammates when the coaches can't be there. And I have no doubt in my mind that these boys will do this. They will find a way to get
Yeah,
together.
you got to take advantage of that dead period. I mean, I know a lot of guys will head down to the beach, and you'll see teammates they'll all go down there. I've seen
Mhm.
it. I've seen it with some of the other schools in
I
the
worked
area.
out in the sand. I worked out in the beach. I
Yep.
ran wanted to stay
You'll
as good
see
as I could.
you'll see a group of players, like if they're close knit, they'll all go down there together. And normally it's
Yeah,
your seniors. They go down there and they go work. I mean,
absolutely.
you're enjoying time with family. It's your little 2-week break, but never a problem get work in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple of guys that really stood out that I wanted to highlight, and there were so many guys, and again, we didn't have a roster, we didn't have numbers. Guys had kind of switched numbers on us, but we kind of suspected of who was who. But some guys that really stepped it up right off the bat. Yarik Cook, who's now number 5. He had over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. One touchdown was a bubble screen that went 57 yards,
Nice.
and he made a move and he was gone. See ya. And that pass was thrown by Jack Harrison. Later on in the scrimmage, he was wide open running down the field. Nobody was anywhere near him, and Cannon Dowd launched a perfect pass and got him in stride. Nobody was going to catch him. Walked into the end zone for 2 touchdowns. Solid performance. The quarterbacks and the quarterbacks that primarily got the majority of the snaps were Jack Harrison as well as Cannon Dowd, and both looked solid, commanding the offense. The running backs that got the most burn were obviously Messiah Wren,
Yep.
but Raheem Lee, who is a rising freshman going to be a sophomore, he had 3 touchdowns, the hat trick. And I think that we have our new Thunder to go with the Lightning to replace Tavion. And there's some other guys that are going to be in the mix, I'm sure. There were
You've
some
also got
guys
some.
that,
You've got some good freshmen coming in also.
yes, you've got a
Because
very
I
talented
coached
eighth
against
grade.
I coached up against them last year, so there could be some freshmen
Yes.
that we'll see playing on Friday nights.
Oh,
I wouldn't put it
absolutely.
past them.
Absolutely, and there's a talented eighth grade group that's coming in, and maybe a couple of those guys get some burn
Oh,
with the varsity as well. Yes,
do we
yes.
know if Heupel's son is staying with West?
I have not heard. I have not
Okay,
heard. I
I'm
actually have
curious
a
on that.
20. I have a $20 bet with somebody, so I hope I'm right and I don't have to pay $20. That's all I gotta say. But that being said, though,
That kid can sling it though.
he can sling it. Yes, and but I was really impressed with quarterbacks, and really just a great job by our coaches, to be honest with you, Shane. Every position group, I even mentioned during the broadcast, one thing that you can say, Morgan Shavers, his defensive line, they don't rebuild, they reload. And he
Yep.
was rotating 3 nose tackles. He had guys getting consistent pressure. I was just really, really impressed with the defensive line, and they really shut down the run as well as made the quarterback for Science Hill maybe rush passes. I will say this much: Science Hill, what really hurt them a lot in the scrimmage, I have not seen so many dropped passes. And obviously, it's spring; you work that stuff out. You're still getting the timing down and everything
Yeah.
like that. But on the flip side, you look at West. I mean, many balls being dropped by the West receivers, by the running backs out of the backfield, and the tight ends were phenomenal, Shane. I mean, you lose a great player like Cam Davis from last year or what have you,
Yeah.
and we didn't miss a beat with the rotation of number 40 Morgan Farrell and number 43 Kaywood Rose. I mean, those guys did phenomenal, and the quarterbacks did a phenomenal job checking down for that safety valve to throw to, and we were getting positive yards. I mean, it was really, really amazing to see this early. And if they can get the timing down a little bit more, I saw maybe 1 or 2 overthrows, but for the most part, they capitalized on the passing game, the running game. It was a balanced offense. And realistically, in my opinion, Shane, Science Hill couldn't prepare for either one. If you put 7 or 8 in the box, we're going to kill you with the pass,
Yep.
whether we want to go downfield or if we want to do a bubble screen outside of it. If you do play zone, we're going to run it down your throats, and and the offensive line losing 4 starters. It didn't even look like they lost 4 starters. I mean, they imposed their will again using a good platoon and rotation. But that first 5 didn't even really look tired. And between us, I only saw one play where we lost yardage that wasn't a penalty. Everything was always going forward. So based
Good.
off of that, what are your thoughts? Especially when you lose 30 something seniors, when a lot of that was your offense and defensive lines.
Yeah. Like you said, like just with the D line, it's not a rebuild, it's a reload. But it sounds like this team's completely reloaded completely and ready to make another deep push in the playoffs. Like I have no fear that we run through Knoxville this year.
Absolutely. And, speaking of that, I have had it as something for us to talk about. Of course, we've had so much stuff going on that we time with it as we've gotten, talking about wrestling, the NCAA tournament, all sorts of stuff. But this is the West schedule, and I don't have dates, but I will get that. But this is the order that we play everybody, and where where the games are going to take place. I mean, obviously, Bearden has gone back to Brad Taylor and so forth. And one thing about them that I was really intrigued with. Originally, they had a scrimmage booked with Central, but that was between, I guess, Josh and Kevin
Yep.
originally. But I guess Bearden felt that they couldn't really participate in a scrimmage with the unknown, and I guess Central needed to do something. So, and it ended up being Central is actually scrimmaging Oak Ridge, and it was supposed to be
Ooh.
tonight. I don't know if the weather negated that or they're going to
Yeah.
move it, but it was supposed to be tonight, by the way, April the 13th, Tuesday night. Obviously, they didn't want to interfere with graduations and stuff and allow in
Yeah,
case
because
parents
everybody started
yeah,
graduation
yeah, so they
Thursday.
wanted to
So
get it. Yeah, exactly. So that's what they wanted to do. On the though, those are two teams that not Oak Ridge, but Bearden and Central. We could have maybe gotten a look at them because that's for your two of your first
I'm
opponents. One of them
I'm
being a region
true.
game. So
I'm truly curious what Bearden's going to look like because there's been an exodus
yeah,
since the coaching change.
yeah.
I
And
saw
speaking about
five
that, I mean, I hear that the running back is now at Anderson County.
running
They've
back
got
to
a
Anderson County, a receiver at Maryville. I'm not sure where the quarterback is. I don't know if he stayed, the one that committed to Kentucky.
Yeah, I heard that there was a little bit of flirtation with Alcoa, but you really can't believe the message boards for all they say. I've also heard that there was a rumor that he is maybe now at a high school in Kentucky to be closer to get ready for that. When he does go to
Yes.
Big Blue and everything like that.
Yeah.
I did see that there was a couple other guys that have gone to Alcoa that maybe were a part of the Bearden team as well.
Hmm.
I don't have names, but I just have heard that some guys have gone to the different powerhouses in the area. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I only know a couple that have left. I'm not sure who all did. My daughter said a lot of people that were there aren't there anymore.
yeah, yeah, and it's not a surprise. It's not a
No.
surprise, and maybe this is good for the community of Bearden High School that they can get back to the home growing they did do and so forth.
Yep.
And realistically, those were the guys that made the difference when it counted on last year's team. I mean, yeah, you had some other guys. Realistically, it was the guys that had been Bearden all their life that really
Yep.
laid down on their sword. From what I could see in the games that including outlasting us in the three overtimes last year.
Yeah.
But that being said, Bearden's going to be an interesting game. Maryville is going to be a very, very interesting test because unlike last year, Maryville's going to open up with Alcoa that first week. So I don't know if you're going to get. I know West always has Maryville's attention as of late, especially last year after we had beaten them the 2 years in
Yep.
a row. They really wanted to send a message to us. So that being, their first home game, I know that they're going to be coming out ready to play and do their thing, which who can blame them?
you you almost wonder how beat up they're going to be after the Alcoa game going
And
into
what the
Maryville.
results going to be, and what the results going to be, because it is going to be at Alcoa. It is going to be there. So,
Yep.
but obviously, we got beaten up in that Maryville game, and a lot of guys, were really banged up the rest of the year and fought through those injuries when you have a war like that. But what's going to be interesting is you go on the road to Central. That's going to be our first region game. Then you've got Alcoa, which is another barometer test to see what you how you stack up against one of the best teams. They're now moving to 4A, which was the big story in the offseason. But realistically, look what you've got the rest. Campbell County, who
County
has
Hall.
another first year coach, so they're going to be rebuilding. Halls feels like they left one out there last year, and we're returning to the scene of the crime. So,
Yeah.
how do we come out against that, and what referees are going to be assigned to that game this year? That being said, then you've got Clinton, still kind of rebuilding from what happened a couple of years ago.
Yep.
William Blunt, William Blunt is now moving down to 5A from 6A. How do they adapt and adjust to this? You're familiar with the Carnes program. They're still coming off of the excitement of the Deshaun Bishop years or what have you. So, and then of course it all comes down to Powell, and that game is going to be at West and on Rivalry Thursday, the day before Halloween, on Thursday the 30th. So, that's going to be a pretty big deal, more
Yeah.
than anything.
I,
So,
I do like how the schedule opens up with a rival, and I think I feel Powell's become a rival also.
oh yeah,
So like how we start with one and end with one. I'm a little sad not
absolutely.
to see. I'm a little sad not to see Fair get sprinkled in there though.
Yeah, and that's what happened when they made this huge region, before. I think some teams were kind of struggling to get teams scheduled, another one that's kind of missing from the schedule is Anderson County. How would we that that was one of my favorite games last year, and I really felt that
Yep.
that win really propelled West
Yeah.
to do the. I mean, obviously we fell short against Sevier County, but realistically, had the story been finished, you could point to that Anderson County game as the game that turned it around and really gave us some momentum.
Yeah.
And that was a damn good Anderson County team. I mean, they went all the way to state, lost to Macon County in the 4A championship, but you really went up against Maryville, Alcoa, who did win state, Anderson County that fell short. And these were all great tests to get you ready for 5A. But you
Yeah.
look at this, I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but based on what I see, I mean, this team really has a great shot that, could they go undefeated? Sure. It's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of things, but I definitely see them, 8-2 with a region championship
Yep.
if they could stay healthy and continue with the work ethic that I saw up to this point. And then you're
Yeah.
just going to get better.
8-2 is easy. 9-1, 10-0. You got to play your best football, and it's going to have to be against Maryville and Alcoa.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah. And you want to know something? I said something bold at the end of the broadcast, and you want to know something? No disrespect to the defending champs, one county over or what have you. And there's not a doubt in my mind we will see them. And if everything holds chalk, as I like to say,
Yep.
it's going to be probably over there this time in that third round, unless Powell or somebody upsets them. You never
Yeah.
know. That's why they play the games. But I really still believe that 5A still runs through Marble City. That's not arrogant. I mean, there's a reason I have these two gold balls
Yep.
behind us. And realistically, we are in the conversation every year. Page has become the Buffalo Bills of 5A football, losing 4 years in a row to three different teams. And they found, but how do they come back? I mean, they obviously are talented, but you just don't replace three players that sign with Division I schools like
No.
that. You
Nope.
don't. And realistically, with the jockeying and teams that have moved up and down with the 6A and the 5A, they're somebody new out west or somebody in the middle of Tennessee that joins that fray. That fray. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have Oak Ridge anymore. Oak Ridge is now in 6A and everything like that. So that's going to be interesting to see how those guys go. The other thing this year, and it's going to be apparent for the next 3 years that we sort of talked about, is the potential travel. This being an odd year, I believe we will host it the day after Thanksgiving, should we get that far. But
Yeah.
next year, you could be taking a drive over to Columbia, Tennessee. And we have not
Mm-hmm.
done that in 15 or
Nope.
16 years,
No, we
So
haven't.
I don't know what the motivation of that was. But we'll cross that bridge. I mean, listen, I will just be grateful that you're driving over there. You might have the better record, and so forth. But if you've gotten to the day after Thanksgiving, you're in the Final Four, and that
Yep.
that is what it's all about, right there. Honestly, so. But that's just some thoughts about that, and like the other thing too is, I will say this much: every team on that schedule, whether they're a Maryville, Bearden, obviously, in Alcoa, Powell, every give their best shot at West. We get the best out of everybody, and that
Yep.
feels good. And hopefully, we have enough respect to want to bring it right back at them,
Yeah.
and impose our will, because that's
I
what
I
that's what
like
we do.
I love how we've gotten to where we are now
Yes.
compared to where we were back in our days.
Hmm. Oh,
Like we
absolutely.
all we always gave the Marivals everything we had,
Yes. Yeah.
and now we're the team getting everything they have because we're the measuring block.
Absolutely. And we were the guys that were scheduled for homecoming. Now we're
Yep.
that team that nobody wants to schedule for homecoming, or, oh shoot, it's because that's where it falls on the schedule. We had to put somebody as homecoming, and that's a mistake. I mean, that is a true
Yeah.
mistake. So,
Looking at this schedule, I can tell who's probably gonna be homecoming.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. And well, and the other thing too is, the about the schedule is that you start off with a home game, couple of road games, a home game, couple of road games, a home game, a road game, and then you finish with a couple of home games. And depending on how the schedule went with your region, there's a good chance that you should host those first two home games. And if there's an upset like there was a couple of years ago, there's a good possibility it could be Powell versus West round two, and it's going to
Yep.
be at West or whoever wins that game. That's why that game is so important, to get that home
Yeah.
field advantage for those first two games, and you may even be able to host a third game depending on how those games go. More than
Yep.
anything. So yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
My son. I think my son's gonna be a little conflicted at that Carnes game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And realistically, I don't know if that Carnes game is going to be homecoming, because realistically,
It's gonna be between Clinton and
Clinton or
Carnes.
Carnes, yeah, yeah, because realistically, I'm wondering even if that Clinton game might just fall kind of where fall break is, you know what I mean, type of thing.
Oh
I'll have
yeah.
to get the dates and so forth. So obviously you want everybody there. But last year, we were Halls's homecoming game, and it was only because of how the schedule fell, and Halls had to basically have us as their homecoming because Central was their senior day the Battle of Black Ridge. So that's just how
Yeah.
the schedule fell for them last year and so forth. But and I that being that we have Carnes as the homecoming game, and then obviously Powell being senior night the day before Halloween on the 30th, and lo and behold, rivalry Thursdays there. The other thing too, Shane's the Central game is also going to be a rivalry Thursday game as well, just to let you know. So yeah, so we're on TV twice this year, and that's not even counting if Russell Bivin and Tony Rogers and that crew from Channel 8 are going to be doing the Friday games as well. So that's something that we might even be TV about as well. So
Yep.
that's going to be something. So yeah, yeah,
I mean, hopefully I can make some more games this year compared to
yeah.
last year.
And I think you will, brother. I think you will. So hopefully it works out that way. What is up, Larry Frank? How are you doing, brother? Always love to get your love and support, bud. Always. So
I was trying to pull up the schedule. My work computer is being slow.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm just happy. And listen, I was having some internet issues before. I was just like, "Don't do this to me," you know what I mean, type of a thing. So, but I'm just excited that we could get together and we could talk some football, And it's like you said, we literally are now entering that second quarter, and the second quarter, in my opinion, is always the hardest, Shane. But you know what I like about the second quarter? There's the third quarter when
Yep.
scrimmages and everything like that.
Wait,
So
wait, wait.
it'll be
You've made the adjustments. You know what you need to do, and now it's time to put it all to work.
absolutely, absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, it was it's been awesome, and it goes quick. It really does go quick. But hopefully, and I'm not even going to say hopefully. I know what these young men are capable of. They've shown it already, and I think that they are really going to continue to capitalize on what they've learned from the spring game and what they've learned from spring practice. Continue to incorporate that in the summer workouts, and they're going to be just fine. They are going to be just fine, and know what they've got to do and what's before them, and they know the effort that it's going to take to get back on top of that mountain. And
Yep.
it's going to, and they can do it. I know they can do it. So for sure. So, want to switch our attention, and anybody in the chat box wanted to go to a little bit of the NBA playoffs. I have really been half paying attention. And I also want to tie this in to the NBA lottery as well that happened last night and so forth. And Larry has a great point real quick. May and June are the toughest. July gets better as training camp begins. August is like a month-long Christmas Eve. It really is, brother. You couldn't have said that better right there. It really is. And every scrimmage you have in August, you get giddy because you feel more's going on. One thing I did want to say real quick, Shane, we did not incorporate kicking or anything like that, but with Pete Rogers back and what we know the type of leg he has,
Yep.
I have no issues with what's going to happen there. So, really good job by the quarterbacks and everybody, from all units really performed well. And I'm excited to see what the punting and kicking team does going forward and so forth when still. But going to the NBA playoffs, I've been half watching. I've been watching a little, to be honest with you. But this NBA lottery last night, man, I mean, I've got to talk about this, and I'm sorry I didn't create a banner. But, the one thing is you got to give the NFL credit. If you're a loser team, you at least have a chance to potentially draft a player that could be a game changer for you, whether it's a quarterback, whether it's a need of a position, a franchise guy. Here you had not so much Utah because they have had some success here and there, really not since the late 90s. But the truth of the matter is that Utah had a 14% chance to get that number 1 seed. Washington has been a perennial loser for years. Charlotte has been a perennial loser for years. And the absolute fact that they could have really used a player like Cooper
Oh
Flag.
yeah.
And you give it to the Mavericks, who, I mean, already have Anthony Davis there. I know
And
Kyrie's
Kyrie.
coming back from an ACL, but I think Kyrie will be fine. They also have another big, talented center in Derek Lively, who was really impressive in their playoff run last year. I know he was injured this year and so forth, but I'm just saying that's the last team that needed to they were actually positioned to be the 11th seed. If this were
Yeah.
the NFL draft, they would be the 11th seed. Not a terrible pick, not a top 10. And somehow it was them and the Spurs of all teams. It was down to for
it
the
makes
one
no
seed,
sense.
man. Makes no sense whatsoever. And if the chat box has any opinion, if I'm overreacting, it's just that I'm just thinking to myself, this is a very talented draft. You can, you got Dylan Harper, Ron Harper's son, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Common Maluwach. You've got Con Knipple. You got all these guys that really impressed as freshmen. I think there's really, as it was foreign heavy last year, I think it's really just a couple of guys this year. But for the most part, it's a very talented freshman class that have
Yeah.
done the one and done thing as expected. And so I guess my question is that not to knock on any of these other players, because they could maybe be the guy, but it's just crazy to think that even San Antonio could end up with an unbelievable point guard, combo guard in VJ Edgecombe. Like they needed help with Wembayama.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to be transitioning from Popovich to the new coach. But still, that is a team with a talented history and have won in every decade, it seems like. So, yeah, for sure. So,
Yeah, I feel like the NBA is so rigged now that it's just it's hard for me to watch. It's hard for me to watch anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so basically, I mean, and people, look, how can you dismiss it? How can you dismiss it? I know that there is Duke hate out there and so forth like that by our own Larry Frank, who's a true Tar Heel and BT. But the truth of the matter is the guy running the league is a Duke graduate. And, some people are saying that did he tell Dallas, trade Luka to the Lakers? That flopped. But, hey, we'll reward you, Cooper Flag, a generational talent.
This
and so
this
forth.
reminds
Yeah.
me of when Patrick Ewing got drafted to the Knicks. It's like, oh, it's the biggest market. Team's not producing well. Let's get them a superstar.
And from
Like,
Georgetown, no less. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
it just, man, we've known that the NBA's had some stuff that's been rigged due to officials in the past and all that stuff. But like, I saw something, I think it was yesterday, that the NBA is not for competition, but for entertainment.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And think about, they would rather grab headlines because there's always something going on. Somebody
Yep.
didn't want to shake somebody's hand, somebody's father insulted somebody, and there's a melee on the court. I mean, you don't see that crap in the NFL.
Nope.
I have my problems with the NFL, but with the NBA, I mean, it's ridiculous, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. And
Take me back to the 80s and 90s NBA and
oh
early
yeah.
2000s.
Yeah. And I'm really hoping with this transition to the NBA back on NBC. I don't know if this was true or not, but did I hear that Michael Jordan is going to
Yes.
be, so that's a real thing. So
Yes.
that's huge, you know.
Yes.
So it seems like they are serious. NBC, and here's the thing, between you and me, Shane, I think that NBC really lost a step losing the NBA when they did
Oh yeah.
all those years ago.
Yeah.
And realistically, when they lost NFL, they lost the NFL to Fox or whatever,
Yep.
and realistically, they kept pushing the Olympics and Notre Dame football. And I'm trying to be disrespectful, but you need more to be than just that.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, so yeah, so
You're not gonna get the draw for Notre Dame everywhere. So,
yeah,
but
Larry
The
asked.
NBA on NBC, man, that was classic.
It was classic. I mean, yeah, and then that music, da na 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 na. Yeah. So both Dallas teams, men and women, get the number one pick. Yep, yep, they did, Larry. They did. They did. Yep. And it just so happens that both Paige Buchers and Cooper Flagg were two of the athletes that were showcased the most in March in their
Yep.
NIL deals. And that's fine. That's what their representatives negotiated. They did their thing. But why are you rewarding Dallas all of a sudden? Is it because the Cowboys suck so bad or whatever? Like, I mean, I don't understand. I really don't. But you
Cow-
had
Cowboy, Cowboys take this year and take Arch.
yeah, yeah, probably tank for Arch. I mean, well, here's the other thing too, Shane. Can I say this? Let's just say that the order would have gone the way that it needed to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Cooper Flagg goes to Washington Wizards. VJ Edgecombe goes to Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead, you're going to make two Texas teams that have history, that have won a championship before, San Antonio multiple, but I'm talking about Dallas at least. They were very close to winning one last year.
Yeah.
And you're going to literally give them Cooper Flagg, Edgecombe to solidify their rosters even more. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just unbelievable.
It's like San Antonio's getting it because Pop's stepping down and everybody's going. All eyes are going to be on San Antonio and how they adjust.
Mhm.
And for Dallas getting the number one, it's like, oh, hey, we approved this trade, but now your whole fan base hates you, and the entire league looks at you funny. So we're gonna make it up to you and give you number one pick.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you this. I was looking at the Mavericks' starting lineup potentially. I mean, that is a very serious problem lineup. If Kyrie can come back and even be half of what he used to be,
Yeah.
facilitating that, and you've got AD at the power forward, Lively at the center, which is a true 7-footer, Cooper 6'8", and instead of him playing the 4, which he was doing at Duke, he's going to be playing his natural position of the 3
Yep.
there. I mean, and then, whoever their shooting guard is, that is a really, really damn good lineup if it can stay
Yeah.
healthy right there out in
Yeah.
the West.
They'll
So,
probably try to make some move during the offseason and get a good shooting guard in there. Well, hold on. They got Clay, don't they?
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
Clay's their shooting guard. For Christ. Yeah, I forgot. Clay's their shooting guard. I mean,
How you gonna go from number one pick to NBA champion potential?
yeah, yeah. So you got, and here's the thing. Yeah, and I mean, that's just a sick lineup. Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively playing center for them. And it's a
Yes.
mixture of young and old. I mean, for
Yep.
the most part, it's a mixture of young and old. So,
All,
and
all you gotta do is
whatever
keep all
they
you gotta do is keep AD and Kyrie healthy.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. And don't forget, Houston just won 50 games. Yep. Yep. There you go. So, I mean, here's the other thing, too. And then the Spurs, I mean, like they need, the only thing is what if the Spurs had gotten the number one pick and gotten flagged to combine with Wembayama? Because I was
Ooh.
thinking that could have been a possibility, too. But it's like, I just don't understand that. I mean, I really just don't. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, great point, Larry. And we don't even know where Giannis ends up. I can see them trading AD for him,
Ooh.
and they
Yep.
might do it. They might do it. Honestly,
Hey, hey, I got to step away for 1 second and go do a
No, go
quick
ahead, man. Go ahead.
safety
Yeah,
brief. I'll be right
you
back.
just come back on. You just come back on. But yeah, so Shane's still working. I know two pair got held up tonight, but Larry, we can continue this talk, man. I mean, I just like I said, I watched that NBA lottery last night, and I'm just like, you know what? If the NFL was like that, I mean, could you imagine like some needing help that didn't need help? And these teams didn't need help. They had a fluke thing happen. They had a fluke thing happen. And realistically, these NBA playoffs, I mean, the injury to Tatum last night, I think the Celtics are done. They looked done even before the injury, to be honest with you. I just did not see the same the same team that I saw before. On the other hand, though, these Knicks have made the right trades. They're playing correctly together. Maybe it's New York's year finally. I mean, it has been 26 years since they have been to the NBA Finals, and it seems that there's some trend about 26 years ago and 99 kind of repeating itself now in 2025 and kind of all the sports. But that being said, maybe it is the Knicks' year. I mean, I saw the Cavaliers look like absolute garbage, and they were supposed to be the one seed. Sure, they manhandled the terrible Miami Heat, but the Pacers, I mean, ran them off the court like I've never seen a one seed ever get run off the court. I mean, that's just terrible, terrible. So yeah, yeah, I believe that, and I'm going to tell you this, Larry. I bet that the networks are salivating for it. Honestly, bring back that whole Reggie Miller, Spike Lee thing, all of it. Yeah, absolutely, they're salivating for that storyline. So, and look on the other side. I mean, who on the West right now has really established themselves? You know, I mean, you lost your 3 and 4 seed right away, or your 3 and 2 seed right away. Um, you know, the Nuggets are still kind of hanging around. Is it Minnesota's year to kind of keep going and everything with Edwards? I don't know. I really do not know. But the fact is that you have it's going to be interesting team that hasn't won it in a while, provided that the Nuggets don't keep hanging around. But it's just going to be interesting to see. You said you got the Pacers and the Knicks, and one of those teams has always been the bridesmaid, but really never the bride in a long, long time. I think that the last time the Knicks won any type of a championship, if I'm not mistaken, was when Phil Jackson was there in the '70s as a player. And I could be wrong with that, but and then the Pacers, I mean, they had some teams, but they were second fiddle to the Bulls, and even Gordon had retired. So there's that too, and so it's going to be interesting to see how these NBA playoffs go. One thing I am going to mention real quick about the NHL playoffs is that my Florida Panthers are still hanging around somehow. Now that could change. That could change tomorrow night. Whoever wins that Game 5 in Toronto is going to be in prime position. But I'm just happy that they looked the part, that they just didn't go down 4-0 or something like that. They are trying to go for a back-to-back themselves, and that's just not been the theme of this year, or three-peats or anything like that. It's been somebody new and or somebody that hasn't won it in a while. That's been the theme of who your championships have been. So in all the major sports. So yeah. And might beat Steph to join LeBron and 18-year-olds of child support ahead of time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ant might beat Steph to join beating LeBron and 18 years of child support ahead of time. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. So you're absolutely right. So yeah. But that's all I really wanted to say about hockey. I move on quickly to wrestling, by the way. And I know Larry, I'm sure you watched it. Shane, I don't know if you watched it or not, but I have
I
never.
missed it. I had some other stuff going on that night.
Let me just tell you this: the I didn't watch the rest of the pay-per-view. I heard it was horrendous. I heard it was
Yeah,
atrocious.
I heard it's the worst one put together.
Yeah, it really was. And usually, Backlash has that notion of there's not going to be a title changing hands, and it showed. But the chaos that ensued with Randy Orton and Cena, I mean, I've never seen so many RKOs. I've never seen so many refs knocked out or officials. R-Truth even got involved in this, which
Yeah.
was even more hilarious. And I'm glad you said that, Larry. Larry, I'm so glad you said that Triple H needs help. Because let me just tell you this. At the end of the show, when Cena's up there holding the trophy and everything, or the trophy, the championship belt, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said trophy. But I see end credits like I'm watching a TV show.
Yep.
I mean, executive producer Paul Levesque. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? I don't see UFC ending pay-per-views like that. Like, I mean, it's like I just watched an episode of The Golden Girls or something like that. Executive producer, guest starring. I mean, what the hell is that? And I mean, realistically, I just have never laughed so hard at an event. And then the press conference afterwards, when Cena acts like he's actually going to take a question, R-Truth comes and he gets freaking attitude adjusted through the
Yep.
press conference table, and that's the end of it. And Cena gets up and leaves. Did I just watch that happen? What the hell happened here? So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, 'cause I saw the highlights. I'm just like, really? Like,
yeah,
yeah, Triple H needs help.
yeah.
I hate the whole, like, we've completely abandoned the Rock storyline.
Yeah, and what's with that? I mean, Larry, whoever else is watching, Carrie, if you're on, bud, my wrestling people, chime in here. R-Truth versus Cena, why not? Give R-Truth a damn title shot. When was the last time he actually had something?
Oh, dang.
So yeah, I mean, Cena heel turn was a good idea, but it sucks now. 2 title matches with trash endings, and can I also throw this out there? The trash ending that we got for this show with every Joe Schmo that used to be a wrestler, the vanilla midgets, as Vince McMahon used to call them. I saw Greg Hurricane Helms get RKO'd as one of them, and I laughed my ass off when the guy and the after show said that was my favorite RKO. So he must have some beef with Greg Helms in real life or
I
whatever.
thought it was Shane Helms.
Is it Shane? It is Shane Helms. It is Shane
Yeah.
Helms. I don't know why I said Greg Helms. It's Shane Helms. Yeah, but yeah. So he got RKO'd. But all I'm saying is that the interference that we wanted for the last match with some big names, that nothing happened but the rap guy that came out, and
Yeah.
then this time you have every WWE official just get out there and get absolutely their ass laid out by RKO. Each and every one of them at some point. I
Just
mean,
standing there waiting in line for their turn.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it is trash. And I'll say this much: your biggest superstar who has carried you with their funky storyline is going off on TV to go film a movie, and that's Liv Morgan. So, so she's gone. Dirty Dom is going to be doing his title run. He seems biggest pop of anybody, which is really amazing. I don't
Yeah.
know what they're going to do with this third guy thing with Braun and Rollins and Paul Heyman, but
I
that
saw
couldn't. I mean,
I saw a video today. It is just people digging, but it showed Sammy holding a 3 after Jay got beat down, and it was Sammy, Jay on the ground, and CM Punk, and Sammy shows a 3, but I don't see Sammy. It would make it interesting though.
it would be. It would be. I mean, the other thing Larry puts here, Logan Paul versus Jay, WTF. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Gunter versus Pat McAfee was one of your matches on that card. For what? And Michael Cole with a rooting vested interest. Why didn't they just put him in a cage over the ring or something like that,
Yeah.
and he becomes the winner's butler? I mean, that's how I felt watching that match. I mean, that was crap too. So, yeah. I mean, I don't understand it. Us, Carrie, Larry, two pair. I really believe that all of us could write a better damn pay per view than what the hell we saw. I think we could put together a solid month of storylines and vignettes, as well as promos and a good rivalry. I really believe we could do that.
Yep.
And whoever's doing it now is getting paid way too much money to do it.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I
it's
mean, it's
not.
terrible.
It's not even entertaining to watch right now.
It isn't. It really
But,
isn't. And
like
and now they've got
I went from tuning back in, watching regularly to like, I'll scroll through Twitter and see what happened.
yeah, pretty much. And is it worth watching the YouTube highlight or something? I mean,
Yeah.
here's the other thing too, Shane. Coming up, they really have tried to already start promoting that the Mexican Wrestling League joining, and then that double pay-per-view. I mean, they're counting on 6 hours of wrestling from like 4:30 to 10:30 on June the 7th or what have you. Coming up, and that's a lot of time to invest in that. I know there's not much going on sports wise, but at the same time, it's a lot of wrestling. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
I don't know if I can spend my birthday doing 6 hours of wrestling.
I wouldn't want you to. I wouldn't want you to. I mean, and no disrespect, but I know they're trying to introduce that brand and hype it up, and maybe get some of their wrestlers to join the WWE and hype that up. But I just feel that realistically, Triple H does need help. I'm going to put that one back up there. I'm going to put that one back up there. Triple H needs help, and I don't know who's giving him advice right now. I don't know. Good point. Jacob Fatu had match of the night. He's pretty much been a guy that came out of nowhere that has really made the most of an opportunity. All the time they should have been spending on Jacob Fatu. That's
Yep.
just what I think. So yeah, very good point there, Larry. Very good point. But yeah, it's unwatchable. And the thing is where is The Rock? I mean, where is the all of this stuff? I mean, I don't. I'm going to
You can't
SmackDown's coming down.
you can't call yourself the final boss and then nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. What's up, Kerry? How you doing, bud? Good to have you on. Jacob is the next big star. Yep, that is correct. Yes, it is. Yes, he is. Yeah. Well, and you want to know something too? You're right, Shane. How can you call yourself the final boss and you've not even shown up at all? I mean,
Nope.
usually the final boss is stage 8 or whatever, and I'm thinking Streets of Rage for whatever reason, but like old school Sega. But yeah, it's almost like they're watering things down to hype the return of Cody. And you know something, Larry? How sad is that they have to do that because they don't have anything else in the arsenal? That's how sad that is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's
Yep.
true. You can only see so much of Drew. You can only see so much of. I'm look at all the cuts that they made.
Oh
They
yeah, that
got
was
rid of. Oh
ridiculous.
my gosh! I mean, they got rid of so many people, and I thought to myself, well, at least you waited till after WrestleMania so they could at least get their little cut of pay to last them. But I mean, so many names that you invested in, and now they're gone, and it's like, do you even have a roster without the same old, same old? So yeah, yeah.
They must be thinking that Mexican league that they signed, that's going to be a mass exodus of guys joining the WWE to do something. But I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah, well, and Kerry has a good point here. The Cena turn was 10 years too late. I agree with that. These
Yep.
two matches in our truth table sucked. Yeah, I mean that's the thing right there. I'm glad that they did do the Cena turn. I think Cena's doing the best he can because look, he got emotional the other night, and
Yep.
it's like of course he's going to get emotional. This is the last time he's performing in front of St. Louis as a wrestler, and realistically, had they done this heel turn 10 years ago, like Kerry said, then you can actually have him go out and like put on some matches and have some fresh battles, and you got to see him. I'm gonna admit something right now. SmackDown is gonna be here on. Do you want to know why I got tickets, Shane? Because
Glad
they
you get tickets.
advertised John Cena, and
Oh
I
yeah, they
wanted to
did,
see
didn't they?
Cena one last time. So
What
me
night?
and
What night
me,
is? What night is that?
it's Friday the 30th, so it would be 2 weeks from this Friday. It's 2 weeks from this Friday. I think tickets are still available. They've been advertising them on Facebook, but yeah, I mean, yeah. So, but I wanted to go see him one last time. I didn't care if anybody wanted to come with me. And cooler that he's got the belt with him, but I was just thinking to myself, I wanted to see Cena one last time because I remember watching him on all those house shows years ago, and I didn't appreciate him then, but I want to
Yeah.
appreciate seeing him one more time. So,
Yeah,
and
I
Larry, to
haven't been
make
to
you
it.
laugh, Cody Crybaby's also advertised for that show, so maybe he comes back on that Knoxville show. I don't know. So yeah, but yeah.
I'm gonna see if I work that night and maybe pick up tickets this week.
Carrie, let me see here real quick. Let me get to my Ticketmaster. I can tell you that real quick. Hold on one second, brother. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, chat box, still keep talking about it. Yeah, because Larry or Carrie wanted to know where my seats were. I got in the lower level and I wanted to face the ramp. But tickets were kind of really disgusting and they were already kind of taken, but I didn't want to like break the bank either, but at the same time I wanted to just enjoy it and everything like that more than anything. So let me see here. Count. Let's see here. Let's see here. My events.
I am off that day.
I think you should go. I think you and your son would enjoy that, honestly. So,
Yeah.
um,
He's never been to one.
yeah,
I've been wanting to take him. He's finally kind of got an interest into it.
yeah,
It'd
that'd be a
be a
perfect
good
one to go
father
to.
son night. Yep.
Yep, yep. No, that would be the perfect to. So, yeah, and of course it's making me sign in and all that crap. So, yeah, let me see here real quick. Let's see here.
I remember going to the house shows and being right there at the ramp.
Yeah, yeah, and that's when they were
Highlight.
affordable. That's when it was
I,
affordable. So,
I remember the highlight of that of one of the ones I went to was seeing Trish Stratus walk down.
ooh.
Ooh.
I remember going to one where the main event was Kane versus The Rock, and The Rock was defending the belt against him or what have
Yep.
you like that. So yeah, I mean that was a classic main event. I do you know that I actually got to see Eddie Guerrero's last match? He was taking on the Undertaker here in
Ooh.
2005. Little did I know he'd be dead 3 months later. Honestly,
I think
so it's
I want to say
crazy.
the last one I went to. It's been a while. It's before I left for the military. I went to
Mhm.
see Raw my senior year.
That makes sense. I remember they were there. I remember they were
Yep.
there actually. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, the main event that night of the Undertaker Eddie Guerrero was the co-main event. The main event actually JBL versus Batista, and they were practicing for the SummerSlam match that they were going to have and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like just kind of getting a little bit familiar with each other. So yeah, let's see here real quick. Uh, let me see here. Hold on one moment. Tickets. Section 117, row 16, seat 7, Carrie. That's where I'm at. Section
Good seats.
117, row 16, seat 7. That's where I'm
That's
at.
not that's not bad.
So, not at all. So, yeah. Yeah, I also don't like how they're doing Jay either. No, they're ruining it. They're absolutely ruining it, Larry. And if anything, that is your face champion and you're making him weak. You're making him weak, getting beat up, and it's after beating the ring general, and
Yeah.
you should make him a stronger champion, and you're not doing it. And the crowd pop that went for him when he won, I mean, again, disrespectful. Just they don't know how to really market or push their people correctly. All the women's stuff that we were talking about, why is anything not being really pushed with that right now? I mean, we were the ones talking about the possibilities in the women's matches that are coming up. Now it looks like Becky Lynch is front and center again after
Yeah,
being gone. And no disrespect, but it's like you've already built her up. You need to make these other ones contenders and build
it's
that.
all you would almost think Vince was back the way it all
Yeah.
is right now.
Yeah, yeah, not bad seats at all. Thank you. Larry put, I was at a house show, second show, and Triple H spit water on me. That is awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, second row, I love it. Yeah, Triple H needs some serious help. Yeah, and that's what I don't understand. We had some great WrestleMania matches. You already had some things that could have gone from it. We even talked about those, and they didn't do them. They haven't done them, and it doesn't look like they're going to do them. And realistically, um, my thoughts are: is Money in the Bank? Is that what they're really going to be shooting for at this? Eggs and Money in the Bank, or are they going to do some other overseas event,
Yeah.
for Saudi Arabia or something like that, like they've normally done in the past? So,
Well,
you
you can
know,
tell you can tell who the major investors are.
That's it. That's it, and realistically, it's clear that even though they're owned by the people that own UFC, UFC is still top priority. I mean, the
Oh
way
yeah,
that they're going to be marketing this match coming up, this rematch between Khabib and Sugar, that's going to be that's going to be a big main event, and even the women's match, that's the co-main event for that next UFC event or whatever coming up, the big UFC event, and they just clear they market that stuff different than how they do the wrestling. I mean, it was like I was watching a sitcom the other night. I don't know, and it was not a good sitcom, to be honest with you. So
yeah.
yeah, let me ask you this: anybody excited about it being flex? Have you seen anything edgy, things that you could possibly think you could have gotten away with that you couldn't get away with on USA? Because truth be told, they've kind of cornered their market. USA was available to a lot more people than say a
Yep.
Netflix subscription, in
The
my
only thing you
opinion.
did is you made it worldwide, but I don't see any change.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Larry. This is a very good point. Triple H is doing too much. If he's in charge of creative, he needs to let the writers do their thing. It's obvious the compliments of improvements post Vince have gone to his head. Women's division too. Yeah, absolutely. Perfectly said. Perfectly said on that. So yeah, yeah. Roxanne Perez and Gulia main event eventing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Again, Becky comes back and then you're sending Liv Morgan away to go film a movie. Raquel's kind of lost now with anything. They're doing
Yep.
something with Carlito in her, or I mean, I don't know. I have no clue. And it's sad because I really thought that we were in good hands with Triple H. I'm not giving up on him completely, but they need to do something and create some fresh matches because, like we spoke about when we were all talking about it, there's a lot of guys that are on that doorstep that aren't going to be there anymore, and
No.
you have not made that you've not made that younger up and coming star. You just
Wait.
haven't.
You've got what 2 years left with Roman?
Easily, if that. Randy as well. Randy wants to go out on top. Cena's done. I mean, how much longer does Rollins really want to be involved? Does Dean
Yep.
Ambrose ever come back, or one of those guys that went to AEW that you're just going to try to capitalize on another Cody Rhodes thing? I mean, where's your homegrown dude? Where is your
Yeah.
homegrown guy? So it goes for a woman wrestler. So yeah, nope, they toned it down. There you go. Simple as that. So yeah, for sure, for sure. So, but yeah, man. I mean, I really wanted to have a good show tonight, and I think that we've covered, what I wanted to cover. If there's anything you guys wanted to talk about, the floor is yours. I think we can go 7 more minutes. I think Two Pair got caught up with something else and so forth, which I know that he would have loved to have been on here, and surprised he didn't get on here, but I know he's very, very busy with a lot of the stuff he's kind of going on with his side projects, and he's doing some great things. And we have a lot of great things coming up. One thing that I do want to announce that for the audience, we are going to be doing a lot more interviews while we're in the slow period. We will still discuss sports, but I'm going to have some former Rebels on here, obviously, and I've reached out and we're trying to get the schedule. To match up. I also am going to see about getting some former players and former coaches from the area schools in a separate thing that will still be aired on this channel, but it would be like a roundtable discussion of past football programs and games and championship teams, and a lot of fun, exciting things going on with the Rebels with a Cause channel. And of course, the athletic director Paul Romero has really thought the world of us and gave us that opportunity to call that game Friday night, which we thoroughly enjoyed. We missed you, Shane, and hopefully you can be a part of the next one with us. And we plan to do that for that next scrimmage and go live again from the stadium right there in the press box. So that's going to be a really special thing. And August can't get here soon enough. So, we've got a lot of things in the works and everything of that nature. So, yeah. Larry puts Cody's gone, Bianca gone, Roman gone. Someone needs to step it up. Yep. I mean, and it's how many times can you throw out there Drew McIntyre? I mean, right now, Jey Uso and Dirty Dominic are getting the most pops. Maybe they don't have the look per se of what you want in a champion, but they are the champions. Push them to be champions, and that's who's generating the pops. One you love to love and one you love to hate. Simple as that. And there's a thin line between love and hate, and they ain't doing it. They are not doing it. So I don't get it. Don't get it at all. So yeah, CM Punk, he's on his way out. I mean, we can keep naming them. Honestly, they have not done anything to replenish, and it's Father Time catches up to all of us. That's
Yep.
a sad fact. So yeah, for sure. So. Well, Shane, anything else you wanted to discuss? I mean, college baseball. Vols had kind of a tough weekend. That's coming up though
Yeah,
pretty
that
soon.
that one hurt. It was senior night tonight for
Yeah, they
our
won.
lone senior.
Yep,
Yep, nine
they
to four.
won. So yep,
We only
yeah.
had one senior who's truly gonna be missed. I think he's the definition of a VFL.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Ensley. That man has given his all for Tennessee his whole time here, so he's gonna be a huge loss to the program just from his leadership and his ability as a
Mm.
player. So
Being there for as long as he has, and at least he can say he at least got one ring. So that's it. Simple as that. So
see, two tournament championships or
yep.
three conference championships, one World Series.
Yep. Steven, thank you, brother. Another great show. Thank you so much. I'm glad this team is hungry. 3 of 4, baby. I've been saying it. And Larry Carey, if you missed the first part, real quick, I just wanted to show this very quickly. The final score was 49-21, but in reality, when you were going ones slash backup 1A, 1B against their ones, it was 42-7 West. And like I mentioned, you would have thought we were the 6A school and they were the 5A school, but we came out there, and Science Hill is a traditional power that gets to that second or third round every year, and loses to like a Bearden or to a Maryville or someone, or a Bradley Central, somebody like that. And we just really did a great job in all facets of the game when it counted. And of course, they did score on the backup to the backup to the backups, but our backups to the backups to the backups scored on their backups or what have you. But I think everybody got playing time, got some good reps at some point or another. And as I mentioned, the most positive thing was that there were no more major injuries. If there had been injuries that had happened during practice the last couple of weeks, I didn't know about it. Didn't see anybody really in casts or on crutches or anything like that, which is always a blessing to see when you or not to see. And we escaped with just some usual nicks that happen with football and the physicality of it, but nobody got helped off the field or anything like that, which is a huge positive, and really get your body nutritionalized and in the weight room and doing the cardio that needs to be done for this grind that, like Larry and Shane said, is coming up here in July and soon to be August. So
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
get in that weight room. Don't miss a single day.
Yep, for sure, for sure. So, and I know that the West Pancake Breakfast is going to come up. That's always a fun event. I when I get the details of when that will be, I will advertise that. It's usually on at the Aubrey's on Paper Mill on a Saturday morning. From like 8 to 10:30. So I'm looking forward to attending that, as I always do, and want to support who wears number 45, which will be Davis Neely for the third straight year. So any rebel that wears that number 45 that I wore, I always like to make a donation in their honor to the program and to their camp. So I will still be doing that this year, as I have been for many years now. So, but anyway, but that being said, thank you for everybody that's participating on the show. We're up to 84 subscribers now, by the way. We are 16 away from 100. I would love to get to that 100 mark more than anything. There's just that number, but love the views. We've had over 40 views of the spring game. I know that Two Pair and Me on his channel had over 119 views for that spring game, and that was when the game ended. I'm sure we've had many more after. So if you haven't checked it out, go to the 332 Studios YouTube page. You'll be able to find it. It's us calling the game live. We first have it on us, and then around to where we're getting the action, as we call it, and we got the first 72 minutes of the scrimmage before we knew that they were wrapping up, and we needed to set up and make sure that everybody got out of there in a timely manner as we had as that live show afterwards. So, but guys, thank you for all the love and support. Shane, thank you for everything that you do and you being a contributor. And I hope that we can do something nice for your birthday coming up, and have a show that week and toast you like we did me and Two Pair, and just continue this. And I know that we all have busy lives, but we do this for the love of not only the school but also sports in general, and just a nice distraction from all the crap that we always have to put up with,
Yep.
honestly. So yeah,
It's always my favorite time to look for. I always look forward to doing the show. Hate to have missed a bunch with just being a dad and working and all that stuff, but
me
love
too.
being on here and doing this when I can.
Me too. And this is my passion, and this isn't work to me. Lot of fun, and it's my time that I get to be with the dudes like you, like Carrie, like Larry, like Steven, and anybody else that chimes in. And can't thank everybody enough for the continued love and support, and everybody that even watches that doesn't participate, the Michael Lins and everybody that's been on the show and who will be on the show. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys, and wish you all the best. And again, one last shout out to the class of 2025. No matter where you're at, Tennessee, any state, live your dreams and don't let anybody stop you. That's my advice more than anything. So, but we'll finish this up like we do every show and so forth. So let's go on ahead and throw that W up more than anything. So, as I say, for Two Pair Tate, for my guy, the coach himself, this is the Italian Stallion signing off. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Love you all.